Hey guys, welcome to another segment of the Grind Never Stops podcast. This is your host CJ Joe, as you guys all know. In this episode, we're going to have a debate about how the league has gone soft and how my opinion on what the suspensions on LeBron James and on Isaiah Steward of the Pistons. But before I start with this segment, I want to thank, as I always do, thank all my supporters that have been here since day one, ever since I started on YouTube, ever since I started recording. I want to thank everyone who's been there for me since day one. And as you guys all know, you can always subscribe, turn notifications on, like my videos, and if you want to join this podcast, you can easily send me a message on social media, and then we can always bring you in as a guest or join my other co-host Steve on debates on your favorite teams, because right now he's doing New York teams. If you're interested on doing other teams, you're all welcome to send me a message. And so let's get started. But before, I'm gonna start talking about the suspensions here. So, as you guys all know, Lakers superstar LeBron James got one game. And obviously, when you miss a game, or a suspension, you lose a salary. So LeBron James is going to use about 200,000 in fines, and Isaiah Stewart is going to lose about $45,000 in salary. And for LeBron James, he's a billionaire, so him losing 200,000 is like losing 50 bucks if you were a regular John, a regular John. And the regular John here is Stewart because he's not on a huge contract. So him losing 45K is probably losing like $5,000 for Isaiah Stewart. But I'm not here to discuss how much they lost. I'm here to discuss, do we think LeBron got the right suspension amount of games? And did Stewart get enough? Because if this was in the old era, LeBron we're probably gonna get one suspension, maybe not, and Stewart wouldn't have got nothing. All he would have gotten was like a 5 to 10K fine if there was back in the day. But if this was also back in the day, Stewart would have punched LeBron James instead of just bodying up to his face. There would have been a fight like the Malice in the Palace. Remember when the Ron Artest and Ben Wallace and the fans back then? In fact, there's a documentary that's on Netflix. If you guys don't know what Malice at the Palace means, you can check that out on Netflix. But we're not talking about that Netflix TV show. We're talking about Stewart and LeBron because Stewart was holding on LeBron James in his shorts. He was bothering him, and LeBron basically said, "Get off me," and he elbowed him. And obviously, you guys should know that LeBron James is not a dirty player. He's not a dirty player. I don't need to talk to you about it or draw it for you, but everyone knows that LeBron James is not a dirty player. And yes, LeBron James has history with dirty plays. He has a lot of history of flopping, of hitting, of this and that. We both know that. But we both know that LeBron James wouldn't do that in a day to day basis. And yes, he probably did it by purpose. Because Stewart, first of all, LeBron James was pissed off on how garbage the Lakers are playing. And LeBron's playing trash too. So it was just the heat of the moment as well. But at the same time, you can't just grab a man's shorts and he wasn't just grabbing LeBron. He was grabbing DeAndre Jordan too, and he was grabbing a part of LeBron's body that LeBron did not like. So he's like, "Get off me!" Like Stewart, he's got to expect like he might get a hit, he might get a punch, something like that, because you can't hold a man's shorts. I don't know what he was holding, probably his nuts. F- We don't know, but LeBron just said like, "Get off me." So that's what I want to tell you guys about that. Um, well, anyways, LeBron did deserve the suspension 1 game because he did not just run at Stewart and punch with the elbow like remember what Ron Artest did to James Harden. Remember that when he elbowed him? But LeBron did not just ran through him. He was grabbing him and inadvertently, boom, right in the face. I so just it just the heat of the moment, and LeBron did deserve the 1 game. Did not deserve more. Let's be real here. Obviously, if he didn't get suspended, it would have been something. But he got suspended, and his total fines were like 200K. But let's talk about Stewart. People are saying, what did he get suspended? He didn't do anything. So first of all, he instigated that elbow. First of all, second of all, he LeBron came to calm the situation down to say my bad. He did not accept that. He ran to LeBron James, ran 3 times, not only to LeBron, to Russell Westbrook and the Lakers players. So that doesn't if Stewart just said, okay, Stewart, we're probably gonna get like nothing, no fines, no nothing. He would probably get a technical, but for him to get up and push LeBron, not push, but like body him up face to face, he ran 3 times. People tried to stop him, but he was too strong and ran after the Lakers 3 times. And you can't do that in today's NBA. And I know today's NBA is the softest league in sports right now because you touch a guy and then you get a flagrant 2 or you get like a 20 game suspension. Like this is how the league is soft right now. But Stewart did deserve his 2 game suspension. He probably I'm surprised that he only got 2. He like if this was like actual serious, I think the league should have suspended for 3 4 games. You know what I mean? Because he tried to make the situation worse. Ran after the Lakers not once, not twice, but 3 damn times. So I think Stewart needs to learn his lesson. And if LeBron James did not come up to him and say my bad, okay, I get it. But LeBron James came up to him and Stewart did not accept it. And I know you're angry, you're bleeding, but just man up and just move on. Because now you're losing money. Second of all, you're because the Pistons, the next 2 games are without Kelvin Hayes, their sophomore point guard, like off the bench. So the Pistons are not playing well right, and yes, they beat the Raptors, but they're like in the basement right now. So you need all the wins you can get now. Because if you don't get the wins now, your playoff hunt will finish early, or you're going to have to do a huge hunt at the end of the season. You know what I mean? And all the other teams have better players than the Pistons have. So so Stewart should have just man up. Okay, I'm bleeding. He hit me, but like, okay, don't do that again and move on. Push him and that's it. But not having to run after LeBron, run after Westbrook, run after the Lakers, that wasn't a smart move by Stewart. And again, it wasn't a smart move by LeBron James because the Lakers are struggling right now. Not just the Lakers. LeBron is struggling right now. And thank God the Lakers came out of that building with a win. And probably that was the momentum. Our superstar getting ejected by hitting Stewart in the face. So both players did not make smart moves, but LeBron ended that stupid move with he went up to Stewart and said, "My bad." But Stewart just made the situation worse, which forced the NBA to suspend Stewart 2 and LeBron 1. And people were like, "He didn't do anything." Well, he ran after the Lakers 3 times, and the security and the refs and the players stopped him 3 times. If you stopped him once, but 3 times, the guy was going crazy. And I know there's a lot of players in this league that are not soft. The Marcus Cousins, Ray John Rondo, Russell Westbrook, Stewart, all these guys, they if you hit him, they are going to charge at you and hit you. They're not gonna be like handshakes, because these are real. And I'm not saying LeBron James is soft, but I'm just saying there's a lot of players in this league today that are like the old era. So I think things are gonna relax, but you guys have to tune in for next Sunday as the Detroit Pistons will visit the Lakers in Los Angeles. And obviously, Stewart will be eligible to play that game, and LeBron is only missing tonight's game against the New York Knicks. But that was my opinion. That's what I feel, man. It's like they tried to stop you and you just wanted to charge not once, not twice, but 3 times. And it wasn't a smart move, not only by Stewart, but LeBron, because the Lakers are struggling and they need your services right now. You are struggling. Your team is struggling really bad with an all-star team. You got AD, Melo, Westbrook, and you got LeBron James himself. So both players need to think about their team. Not, oh, he hit me. Oh, let me ruin and get kicked out because he made me bleed. No. Stewart should have thought about it and be like, okay, I'll deal with you later. Let's just finish this game and get a win against the Lakers. And for LeBron, he should have just, instead of elbowing him in the face, should have just pushed him and that's it. But not elbowed near his eye. That wasn't smart from LeBron. And people say, and I'm telling you, that LeBron James is not and will never be a dirty player. But things just happen. You grab his shorts, his part of his body, like for like 4 or 5 seconds, which is not a basketball play, and LeBron did it. You know what I mean? So I know the league is soft and even I want to see fights. It's nice to see. But you're in this new era, which is you got to respect it. You can't go overboard what Stewart did. And again, I'm not on anybody's side. Both players did not make smart moves to begin with. But guys, this is all it for today's episode. Make sure to tune in to a segment tomorrow as we will recap more teams as the Cowboys, Raptors, and Leafs. Make sure to subscribe, like our video, and share. And peace!